Hey guys, theksdiver here. Today we're going to be looking at Mira spots on the new Kanal map. And we're going to start off in the radar room, in this top floor hold here. It seems to be the most popular site. So here's what I've got for my mirror window setup. You see I've got a mirror window watching that hallway and the stairs with the top blown out for C4, but not for visibility. I've got this mirror window blown out for visibility and C4s, and I've got this wall over here blown out for visibility and C4s. As you can see here, I've got a nice line of sight pretty deep into the sky bridge. I can give teammates a pretty good call out. I can throw C4 pretty far, and also I can see pretty well into this area. So if they get in here, I don't believe you can plant in this spot. I think you have to actually enter the room. I got this covered from this window. On this window over here, we can't see nearly as much, but we can see the spots that you can't see from the other window, say people trying to stealth plant over here. Also though, we can control this staircase and we can watch into here. I'm going to talk about some strategies dealing with this area over here that everybody likes to hold that wall leading outside and electrify it, and I'm going to have a little discussion about that here soon. For right now, we're going to start talking about lines of sight. So we got all that. Right here, I am going to actually blow out a little bit and show you this C4. Look how deep this C4 came into here. That's a pretty long throw through two doorways. As for the staircase itself, if you want to blow more of this out, you can. And you can do that. That's going to net you kills on the staircase. A very strong spot for C4s. You can throw the C4 basically all the way to the back there. Pretty effective to hold A, which is a very common site to be attacked because there's more ways into it. For this setup, we're going to need almost all of our reinforcements in this room. I've got my own walls right here with Mira. 2 windows, 2 reinforcements. That's me.
Got 2 more right here, 2 more right here, and 2 more right here.
You're going to need all of these. It's essential. That only leaves you 2 more barricades on the team. They're probably going to go right here, I'm assuming. Alright, so next we're going to talk about team comp. You're going to need a lot of help on this site especially, but on most sites on this map. First team comp you're going to need is preferably a castle, and he's going to be focused on that right there. You can put a castle right here. I don't have a problem with putting a castle right here. A lot of times late round when you know, the enemy team is pushing you and they don't have much time left, they just need to get frags to win it out. This is the doorway they're going to be pushing you from. If things break down, they're going to have you locked into that corner over there. Besides the castle, you're going to need electricity or mute jammers. Cade now can electrify 3 walls at one time, and that's going to be extremely handy. We get a Cade right there, I think, and that'll cover these 3 walls right here. Then you just need 1 bandit right here. You throw your other Cade right here, or just so enemies don't shoot them, you can put it on the floor right here. So with just 3 pieces of utility, you've got all of this covered. That leaves 3 bandit batteries for Bandit to go ahead and do his thing and try to trick this wall. Here's one of the problems with this. If Bandit is going to try to trick this wall, he's going to want to have barricades right here. Otherwise, someone could just run in and shoot him. So with that 3rd castle, one of your options is to castle this right here, so that at least when they pop that, the bandit will hear it and he will be able to get out of there. Now it's worth noting that obviously if you played this map, most teams will defend this wall with their lives. There's merit to that. That's an important wall. But with this defensive hold, it's not a big deal if that wall gets blown, because we have 2 mirror windows right there to watch this whole area to plant in. So if we lose that, that's okay. The reason Bandit would play there at all then is simply a stalling strategy. Much of playing defense is stalling the enemy team out. So they have to make poorly calculated pushes at the very end of a round and get them to that point where they're not anywhere near planting yet, and all of a sudden they hear 15 seconds remaining. You know, what does every team do at that point? They rush, and you're going to have a defensive hold set up. Especially if you still have your C4, there's no way they're getting a plant down. So that bandit tricking over there in this strategy is just a waste time. So you've got castle, bandit, and Cade. You could trade off one of those operators for a mute. And the reason I favor a mute in this setup is because he can mute this doorway right here, which will help prevent twitches from coming in. For an operator ban on this map, and I know this is sacrificial because you're going to want to use him too probably, but as far as the other sites are concerned, I don't think he's really that important. So if you can get around not having him, I don't think it's a big deal. But it will be to the other team in this setup. I would ban Thatcher. And the reason is because he can take out all of your electricity and you won't have enough of it left to redeploy it on the walls. Now, that's the other reason there's a stall tactic going on over here. We want that Thatcher to, without realizing he's going to need his utility on that backside, we want Thatcher to use his utility right here, if he is not banned. Same thing with Twitch. If Thatcher is banned, we want her to try to use her utility over here. Or a Callie, use her utility over here. That's what this is for. That's why I do recommend putting a castle over here on this door, just to try to give your bandit a heads up so that when he eventually and inevitably loses that position, he can fall back. Now in this mirror setup, it is absolutely imperative that you hold these walls. If you lose these walls, you're probably as good as dead. You're going to need deployable shield. I'm going to put my deployable shield right here. That's going to block me from fire from this door. If they do blow the castle, which they probably will, you're going to need cover from that. Now one of the main problems with this is once they do blow that, or they blow a section of this wall, your safety is all right here in this corner. It's still a very powerful corner, don't get me wrong, you can see a lot, but now your ability to rotate is restricted. Now if you happen to be over here and you lose part of this wall, or most often the doorway, all you have to do is scoot over a little bit. Now you've got cover from this server rack here, and you can still play this spot. You can still throw C4 over there, and you've got relative safety. Don't forget, you're going to have teammates, or you should have teammates, in that room. You're not going to be able to hold this by yourself, as with many mirror spots. So let's call this option A, option B. Option A is what I've been talking about. You hold this wall, you castle that, and you do everything else I've talked about so far. Once Bandit loses his ability to defend this, or that castle gets blown, he falls back. What you're seeing here is part of option B. And option B is you forsake this wall entirely. You can still barricade this, because that's going to make them waste utility that they could have used to down the walls in the room that you will be sitting in. So you can still barricade this, there's nothing wrong with that. Where else are you going to put them? I mean, you're not going to put them in this wall, because look what I've done here. I have made a line of sight now to my mirror window. Doesn't look like much, but it's not bad, honestly. I can see all the way back to here. So, you know, if they blow up this left side, they just barely enter, and now they're in my line of sight. There's nowhere safe in there now that I've done that. Because of my ability to distance this C4, if they're over here in this corner, they're dimmed. If they come in through that side and they sit in that corner, you can see that stripping on the wall that I showed you earlier, they're dimmed. Now, if they come over somewhere in this vicinity behind the wall where you can't see them anymore, if they rush in, and now they're sitting into a spot that they think is safe, which, by the way, ding, magic, isn't all that safe because they have this other mirror window to contend with, you have this to throw at them. And if you don't happen to be at that mirror window, or one of your partners has C4 and is covering this window for you, you have this to throw at them. Goodness, what are they supposed to do? They get shot if they sit over here, they get C4'd if they sit over here, if they run through and sit against this thing, they get C4'd, and if they sit back here, they get shot or C4'd anyway. So what are they supposed to do if you have C4 still available? So, after demonstrating that, obviously, I definitely encourage at least two, maybe even three peoples on your team having C4. C4 is so powerful on this site that you can throw C4 and kill 2 or 3 people, maybe even more, just with C4 and win this site, never even fire a bullet. It is possible. The last thing I'm going to want on this site, you know, because I'm not asking for much with the Bandit and the Cade and the maybe mute jammer, that would be nice. The ban of Thatcher or Twitch, probably Thatcher. The shield. Um, the only thing, because I'm not asking much, obviously, is a Jaeger. And I'm going to want to put a Jaeger right about here, and I'm going to want to put a Jaeger right here. One last time, a castle, a bandit in a cave, and a Jaeger. I usually don't ask that much of my team as far as team composition to support a Mira strat. I usually only ask like 2 people to be a certain someone. I understand that's asking a lot of your team, but after all, isn't this a team game? I'm pretty sure that last time I checked, they don't reward you with elo for going 15-7 in a match. You only get elo if you win, obviously, so this is, I think, one of the best ways to do it. You're going to team strat a Mira. I've basically already gotten into it, but the dangers of this setup. Obviously, by far, your biggest danger is right here. The rest of your biggest danger lies within these walls, or on the other side of them. You do have the potential for getting breached through the floor. Yep, that can be a problem. You need your roamers down here. Trying to avoid the drones and not giving away their position until the opportune moment when they can get some kills or save your ass from a buck. They can't really get any cheeky angles on you except for right here. This spot right here is extremely dangerous because I'm not always going to see that. The wall's messed up there. If I'm sitting too far back, I'm not going to see their head. And they have a great, pretty well protective line of sight to your feet. It's not as easy of a shot for me to do this. So I'm not going to spend any more time on this site. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Let's go to the next site.
5 seconds to go.
Alright, here I am in the projector room, maps room, and this is probably my second favorite spot to hold. I know this isn't the most common spot. Probably the second most common spot on this map is to go downstairs on the other side of the map. I don't see people go here unless they have a third option. They win both defenses, they have to go to the third one. But my team and I, we're starting to prefer this one to be our second hold. So what I got here is, this is a much more simple setup than many of the other sites I choose on maps. You got a hard window standing, soft window crouching. So the other thing I've done with this site is I've blown this wall out and I've created another line of sight here for my windows. Mostly for information, but if they get over here and they start trying to walk into the room, I can give that call out and I can maybe even shoot at them. I am going to barricade this center wall right here, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I can't really gain much more information from this right here as I can, you know, when people are about to walk in there. Even from this window, I could look a little further. But the main reason I'm not going to do it is because if this is opened up and this is opened up, there's a giant line of sight here for enemies and with relative safety to see all the way back here into kitchen. And that's not a sight line that I want them to have. I might be able to benefit from it being open, but my teammates will probably suffer for it, so I'm gonna barricade that. My lines of sight here, obviously I'm defending B. I can see parts of A. I have a little bit of cover right here, but I'm pretty sure I can be shot in the head from over here with somebody coming into kitchen, even when I'm crouched. But for the most part, I can see A. So somebody comes in here and tries to plant. You got a C4. That'll take away anybody trying to plant in the corner over here. Most of the time, though, they're going to be pushing you from the hallway out here and the staircase. So with that, you've got all that covered. You can throw a C4 over there. That C4 ended up making it all the way into the hallway, or you got this entire room. So the lines of sight with this mirror setup are fairly simple, and I don't think I need to talk about them for too long. After the last site and me explaining in detail what you do with that, I'm pretty sure you get the idea. So next thing we're going to talk about is team comp for this spot. The only thing that's necessary is a Jaeger. You can put a Jaeger right here. You can put a Jaeger right here. You can put a Jaeger over here. I have died before from not having a Jaeger. A buck cooked a grenade all the way back there. Threw it. It blew up like right here and killed me. So you got to have the Jaeger. The last piece of little team comp utility that I'm going to probably need is a shield. I'm going to put that shield right here. And that is to prevent someone from coming in through kitchen and killing me. You just crouch behind the shield. You'll be safe. You don't want to put it too close to your window, like right here, Because if you start getting shot in the feet, where are you going to go? I mean, you could go right here, but now you're opening up your whole body to getting shot if they spray that. If you don't have a shield, you can back up to here. You don't have to be right up against your window, by the way. I don't know if I've said this before. Don't feel like you have to be right up against your window to play the window. I mean, you can stand back here if this is the safer spot at the time, because say they hit the ceiling, we'll talk about that soon. You can still sit back here. You're going to have to aim a little lower, but there. If they're crouching, there's their head. If they're standing, right there. Yeah, don't feel like you have to play right up next to your window. It's all situational. It's all about how they're attacking you, how they react to your setup, and you need to be able to react to how they attack your setup. So now that we have our lines of sight and our team comp, let's talk about some of the dangers. So with the proper team comp and the shield right here, I think you have two main dangers to this Mira setup that you need to be aware of and ready to counter. The first one is going to be this window right here. Obviously there's a window right beside you, not usually ideal, and not usually how I like to set up a Mira. You might wonder, why wouldn't I put the shield right here? It's because the shield is basically a non-factor on a window this close to you, where they can rappel upside down and shoot over it. To mitigate this risk on this window, I'm going to blow out a little spot right there, and then I'm going to blow out the window. I don't know if you can tell, there's no glass there anymore. That's going to allow sound to propagate through this window a lot louder for you. I don't know if you can tell the humming in the background. I can hear the outside now. That's going to let you hear when they rappel. That's going to let you know if somebody's shooting from up there. You're going to be able to tell where it's at. You might be able to peek around this corner if it's blown and shoot this guy up here. That's pretty cheeky. People get mad when you do that. If a fuse goes down, you're definitely going to be able to hear it and shoot the window out. Maybe kill him, but you'll definitely destroy the fuse. That's the best way I think you can control this window. The second main danger, and probably the most common one for me at this Mira setup, is this right here. If you lose control of the top floor, they're going to be looking for you through the floor here. Most of this site, the floor is destructible. I think all of it actually. They just have to know where it's at. There's not many ways to mitigate this except for to have a roamer to prevent them from doing this in the first place. Your biggest defense besides a teammate is mobility. So if that happens, you need to be able to move back here where they can't start shooting at you. Your feet are covered so they can't get some crazy like pixel angle on your feet. And just play your window from back here. Maybe they pop your window from right there. They'll probably do it, but they'll be more worried about you, especially if you take some shots at them. Keep them occupied. Maybe throw your C4. You can try to keep them busy as much as possible while your roamer or your pulse C4, whoever's got it, starts looking for them and trying to help you out. If you don't get any help, this is a really tough situation to be in, especially if they pop one or both of your windows. If they pop both of them, your safest spot, you know, at this point is probably back here in this corner. You may be able to pop up and get a little, you know, information going about, you know, still get information about what's going on. But if you expose yourself to this, I mean, it's a wide open sight line. You have no advantage. In fact, I would say you have a disadvantage because your opponent's probably going to have an ACOG. I suggest that, especially on this site, because of this threat, you don't get too trigger happy on your C4 throwing it into there. I mean, if you think you're going to get 2 or 3 kills or somebody is planting in a spot where you just can't quite shoot them, go ahead and use that C4. That's important. But if you can manage to keep your C4, I would. The reason is because if they blow this, their best line of sight is going to be over here. Let's take a look at this real fast from the attacker's point of view. You just blew this up. You can see both your mirror windows. Easily pop them. And now you're screwed. You're sitting back there in that corner. From this spot, I can't quite see, so he's going to have to blow more up. This is going to buy you a tiny bit of time. It's also going to give you better information on where he's at while he's blowing it up. This is your opportunity for a C4. In order to get that proper line of sight on you, he's going to have to blow that hatch or blow up this floor right here. And once that's done, you're pretty much a goner. The top floor is extremely important. I definitely recommend barricading that hatch. Most of the time when this Mira setup fails, it's because I lose this up here and I lose the hatch. One of the things you can do though, you can throw a C4 through those slits and get a kill that way. There's not a whole lot of room up in this area. because of that wall and because of this wall over here for them to see you. So you know if they are searching for you, they're gonna
Down to
be
15 seconds.
by this blue wall somewhere in this strip here.
10
So,
seconds left.
I mean, have your teammates spray the ceiling, make them uncomfortable. Let's go to the next site. Okay, here we are in the supply room kayak site. I don't particularly like this site, but I hate the one upstairs even more. So this is what we got. So with this setup, I'm gonna do 2 more soft windows, crouch level, and 2 hard walls right beside them. I'm gonna blow out this entire wall looking into kayak, and I'm gonna blow out about knee to waist, stomach level on this wall. That way I can see people walking through here. Over here, I'm only gonna blow out this top right corner, and the reason is because there's a staircase right here, and from the top of that staircase, if I'm coming down, I can see into room. If this is blown out right here, this attacker on the stairs is gonna be able to see you and your window and pop it fairly easily. I'm gonna pop this out just so you can see better. I'm not gonna blow the whole thing. Even without that all blown out, look how I don't have to go down very far at all. I can pop the window right here. The reason I'm putting the mirror window on the left side and not the right is because I'm safer in this corner from that doorway than I am from right here. And also, if the window's on this hard wall right here, I can't see the stairs. I don't have nearly as good of a sight line. If this isn't blown open right here where I just showed you, they might not have the frame of mind or the 200 IQ to just shoot through this and kill you. If they do start taking pot shots, I mean, just back off real fast, you know? They might get a lucky headshot, but that's a risk you take. If you don't want this window at all, you can make this hard and then put that window there and just use it for information. But I don't like to use my windows for just information. I like to get kills off of them. I will say, when someone does come down the stairs, as soon as you know about it, you want to take that guy out as quickly as possible because he is a major threat. Now, you saw me earlier, I blew up this little half moon here in that top right corner. The reason is because it's not a threat from the guy on the stairs to have that open, unless he throws in grenades, which we will be prepared for. But the reason I had that open is so I can do this. Another C4 throw you got right here is through that doorway. From here, you're going to kill this guy in this doorway, anybody sitting back here. Now, if you notice, I also blew this up here. This is personal preference, depending on how confident you are in your setup and your ability with Mira. It's not necessary. You're probably wondering where all the barricades go then if you're doing all that. Well, you got a hatch right there. You got this wall right here. If you can barricade this side right here, because I can't really see that anyway. What opening that up does is now you can see people coming down the stairs and entering in through scuba or whatever that's called over there with the ROV. They might not be able to get a good line of sight on you, but you can pop up and shoot them. A lot of people don't expect Mira to make that shot. So a guy breaks in here, working his way around the corner. He's coming around here. Oh, all of a sudden he realizes this is open. That's dangerous. Now he's got to look through all of this. And you can't see, you can see the bottom of the mirror window, but you can't tell that it's blown open. I'm going to crouch up and kill this guy, and he's not even going to know where the bullets came from. So you got pretty good lines of sight. Again, you're defending all of B by yourself if you need to, and you're in A. Let's talk about team comp real fast. For this site, Jaeger's going to be your best friend. Maestro could really help too, but I think instead I would rather have a mute on this site. Maestro's good, but Jaeger and mute. So you put a Jaeger right here where it can't be shot from the hallway or the stairs, and it takes care of anything flying through here. The other Jaeger, I'm probably going to put on the floor like right here. That way it can guard both your windows and this doorway right here from frag grenades or whatever flashbangs getting thrown through here. And since we're so directly on site and there's probably not a whole lot of places for your teammates to be, I would suggest maybe even putting your third Jaeger in the same spot. There might be a lot of trash thrown your way. If you're going to have people playing in lockers, which I'm sure you will, in this area back here, I could definitely justify putting a Jaeger right here for them, but that's his decision. As for the mute, I would just put the mutes in usual spots right here. The other two can go to defending your other walls, like this one over here, wherever you want them. If you lose this wall, you are screwed. Honestly, if you lose this wall, you're screwed too. You shouldn't lose these walls, though. They have to commit pretty hard to certain pushes that you should have well defended in order to take your walls out. The only other piece of utility I'm going to need on this site is a shield. We're going to put that shield about right here. That's going to protect you from anything coming through that doorway. With the shield right here, I'm not going to be able to pop that window. It's also going to allow me more space to rotate. Once I'm here at this spot, you're going to hug up against this wall. So team comp is pretty easy. Jaeger, mute, and maybe a castle if you want. It could bolster your defense. Let's talk about danger. From this spot, your biggest danger, once again, is going to be the ceiling. Let's say they get above you. They start blowing up this floor. You have a little bit of protection right above you because there is a desk here. But that's not going to stop them for long. As I said before, you're definitely going to want that hatch barricaded. Your best defense for this is going to be your team. If you know where they're playing, they kind of have a limited space here. But I mean, they can blow up all this floor. So it's just situational. Play it smart. If you still have your C4, you can chuck it up there. Do what you got to do. But it's going to be dire if they start blowing up the ceiling. I highly suggest you have teammates roaming up here, trying to deny them the hatch and the spot above your mirror windows. If you watch my other videos, especially my first one on Cafe, you know I preach, I don't like to put myself in dangerous situations that I'm going to have trouble winning. I like to put myself in situations where I have a great chance of getting a kill in survival, and the enemy has little chance to fight back. Any of these spots where you can get shot through the ceiling is not necessarily one of those spots that I like. But in my defense, look at this. If you wanted to put it over here, destructible. Even if you wanted to put it back over here, destructible. There's nowhere down here to put a mirror window where you can't be hit from above. You just need to have the proper team set up. And that's one nice thing about, you know, being able to defend an entire site, maybe even two, almost by yourself is, you know, you're an anchor and you have maybe one other teammate as an anchor. You could roam 3 people, you know, make them stall the enemy out and use their utility, or maybe they kill the buck, maybe they kill the sledge. Once again, the Mira can't do this all by herself. You're probably not going to be able to pull this off very successfully in casual or ranked if you're solo queuing. You need probably 4, 5 people. Oh, this is the stupidest setup I've ever seen on most of the things I do, because a lot of my spots are unique, but they're well thought out, I would like to think. You do you. Don't worry about what other people say. As long as you have their safety in mind as well as yours, there really shouldn't be a problem. They can bitch and moan about it all they want, but in the end, you chose the operator, not them. You chose Mira, you play Mira how you want, as smart as you can. Somebody else isn't going to play Legion, and I'm going to tell him, hey, stack all 9 goo mines right here. I'm not going to do that. He played Legion. Let him play Legion how he wants. So, for your dangers, yep, we got the ceiling. That's your huge danger. The other danger is, I would say, this wall right here. Unless you have defenses on it, if they pop this over here, that's going to be a problem, because now your entire backside is exposed. That window is definitely getting popped. Your only cover is back here. The bomb happens to be, I think, one of the best things to hide behind, because it's a weird shape. It has this kind of this skid here that it sits inside of, and you know, you can peek around this and it's kind of awkward for them. Sometimes it's inevitable. In order for you to be successful as Mira, you're just going to have to win some gunfights. Unfortunately, I wish you could win on setup alone, but the fact of the matter is you're going to get into gunfights, you're going to have to win them, and sometimes you're going to lose. It doesn't mean the Mira setup's bad, doesn't mean you failed, doesn't mean don't try it again. It just means, you know, different teams are going to throw different stuff at you. You're going to win gunfights, you're going to lose gunfights. It's all situational. Damn, look at that throw. You blow this little corner out right here. Throw it over the kayak. Yes, that went over. Look at this. This is nasty. So I think that's it for today, guys, on this map. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to enjoy the view.